before Mike comes up here, and it's not going to be the most romantic thing you've ever heard, but some of you know from Facebook that I went on a cruise a couple weeks ago. While I was gone, I had my house power washed. Now, it might be that our house needed it terribly, but when we came back, as a surprise to my wife, she didn't know we were going to do it. Let me just say, this company, and I don't use this term very often, did a startling difference on our house. And so for realtors, one, they're going to do a great job on the house, but listen to what he has to say about the roofs that we need to be cleaning up from the stains. So I can't recommend them any more wholeheartedly.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Mike Dingler, owner of Firehouse Pressure Washing. Can I get Lieutenant Stephanie Fury to come help me? So Stephanie was my old lieutenant at Peachtree City, so I'm going to get her to hold my board up, if you don't mind. Yes. Okay, so everybody has the same thing that I have on this board on a piece of paper in front of you. If you can get it out and follow along, I just want to show you a few things that we do at Firehouse Pressure Washing. It's not really just pressure washing. I like to call it a total exterior cleaning company. So I'll be real quick, give me 5 minutes of your time. So basically, top left, if you look at the top left picture, that is a house off of Goza Road that was for sale. I think they had, did anybody sell that house in here? No? I think they had a little bit of problem selling it. They called us in to do the roof. Obviously, it's a big house. I'm sure it's a lot of money, and it just didn't sell that fast. They called us in to do the roof, and that's a before and after picture of the roof. Increased the curb appeal of the home, and I think they had it sold in a pretty good time right after that. Next to the left, you'll see a very bad looking back deck, and then just with washing, that's what that does. So I know you're in the business of selling homes and making them look good, giving them extra appeal, and that right there on the left, that does not look appealing to any potential homeowner, does it? About $300 later, and then you got that deck on the right. It's a very minimal investment for your seller just to increase the total value of the back deck. Over here next is the slate patio. So that's all soft washing. We do not pressure wash stuff like that. We don't like to go in and tear it up. So that's just a chemical application and soft washing. I did that job myself. On the top right, you'll see a brush. That's our water-fed pole system. It's got a carbon fiber pole. It's about a $1,500 system, and it puts up filtered water by reverse osmosis up onto the window. Commercial accounts could definitely benefit from this. I think I've done this building with that pole a long time ago, or I just did it by washing it. But any kind of a commercial job, if y'all are trying to sell a commercial building or anything, just having the exterior of the windows washed would be great. I noticed out here where I'm serving breakfast, there's green algae all over the windows. So it's everywhere. Yeah, just take a look right outside. So that'll obviously help with any kind of commercial building that you're selling. Going down one road, this red porch. So this red porch was on a 25-year-old house. The customer said that nobody was ever able to get it clean for him. I told him, pay me $25 if I can acid wash it and get it clean. When he walked out, he about had a heart attack because, like I said, he lived there 20 years and never got a porch clean like that. So remember us on new construction and any kind of old, dated homes with red stained porches like that. They're all over Georgia. Over here, next is just a simple driveway wash. That driveway wash right there probably costs about $175. And you can see the curb appeal straight from the road that will add, if you get a driveway wash right before you take pictures of your property. More wood restoration there with the steps. This over here is proof that we wash in any weather. Do not think that we just wash in the springtime. I'm right there with all the real estate agents that think that, people think that, I can't sell my home until March or April, right? Like that's y'all's hot season. It's the same thing for me. But we wash all year round. That was one that I did in the snow. Down here is just to add a little bit of credibility to our work. This is an article I wrote for one of our industry magazines. So we have eClean magazine and Cleaner Times magazine, and they actually put me on the front cover. I was washing a house on Lake Redwine, so I thought that was pretty cool. Church steeples. I don't know how much real estate agents sell churches, but if you ever have a church that you go to that needs the steeple washed, then there's definitely need for us. Next to the church steeple is the first roof that I ever washed. So basically, I went to Washington, D.C. for a pressure washing seminar. Yes, those do exist, and yes, it's very fun for people like me. And I learned how to clean roofs the proper way. If anybody ever pressure washes a roof, that's the wrong way. So we do work for Owens Corning, and I've got a guy that I'm in power quarter with named Ward Metcalf that have both checked off on our roof washes as being manufacturer approved. So it's a chemical application that we put on the roof. There is no pressure washing involved. I can take my pressure washing truck, leave it at home, bring an air compressor and my air diaphragm pump and a big tank of chemical and do a roof. So we do not pressure wash roofs, but we are a soft wash, pressure wash, and roof cleaning company. So that's our example. And the roof washing right now is very, very hot in Georgia. That's all these black streaks on the roof. It adds so much negativity to the buyer. And I see houses for sale all the time on Zillow. Excuse me for saying that word in here. I know nobody likes Zillow, but I see it all the time because I do online estimates. So if someone calls and says, "Hey, I just need a ballpark," I'll find their house on MLS or Zillow or whatever, and I'll shoot them a price. Half the houses I find on there are for sale with dirty roofs. I can't stand it. A roof wash like this for just the front is like $400. And you can see the before and after. It's very dramatic. Over here next to the roof is just a simple soft wash. So we do all low pressure. You hold your hand in front of it and just getting all the mold and algae off of a house, getting it ready to sell. Down here, right beside, it's another soft wash example, but that has aluminum siding. Has anyone ever done aluminum? Has anyone ever seen aluminum siding or had aluminum siding on a property you're listing? It's very problematic. It was dominant in the 70s, and it oxidizes really bad. Now on the south side of the house, the most sunny side of the house, it will oxidize tremendously bad. If you hire a $99 pressure washing guy to come in and pressure wash that, they will mess it up, I promise you. You have to know what you're doing with oxidized aluminum siding to not make it look worse than it did before you got there. Over here, right here with the sidewalk, customer just wanted the sidewalk done. You can see before and after. That's simply pressure washing it. I'm pretty sure they called our office and got us to do the whole driveway after that. Over beside the sidewalk is just another picture of a roof wash, house wash combo that we did. So if you ever have a client or you call us and y'all want something washed, we do what's called a package price, where we'll do the roof, the house, the driveway, the sidewalk, and usually throw it all in at like a 20% off kind of deal to do a whole package price. And the bottom picture, last but not least, this is my favorite picture. I could not be here without my team. Stephanie knows a lot of the people in that picture, if not all of them. She's managed them. I hired all of these. So Stephanie's been their boss before and seen them all, the fire service. I've got 11 guys that are all firemen in Peachtree City, Fayette County, Fayetteville, Palmetto, and Fairburn. So everybody besides me is a full-time firefighter that pressure washes on their days off. I am a volunteer firefighter from Peachtree City that runs a business full-time. So if you ever have a customer that's wanting to use, whoever they've used for so long but can't find their number, that's probably because the people are, not Johnny on the spot like we are as far as getting an estimate to you, getting it done before you take pictures, and getting it done before you list the home. So you can get the maximum value. So what's in it for me is a good question for all real estate agents. What's in it for you? Well, I haven't done any studies, but I'm pretty sure that if your client spends $400 to $800 with us, you could probably list that house for a couple thousand more, just by the way it looks on the internet, just by the way it looks from the curb, from the street, and the way it looks basically just for sale. Especially with a roof wash or anything like that, instant value, instant credibility, and the roof cleaning comes with a 5-year warranty. So if we clean it, it's transferable to the new homeowner, 5 years spot free. If any black marks or anything come back on the roof, which they will, within 5 years, you call us out, we retreat it for free. So just remember that when you're talking to your clients. Thank y'all for having us. We have a lot more breakfast. Oh, questions? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to comment. So
Sure.
I had a roof almost completely covered on the backside with all kinds of mold and stuff on it. Everybody kept saying I needed a new roof. It was a newer roof, less than 5 years installed, and they came out and took care of it. So there was no roof replacement, no questions, and they got the 5-year warranty.
We did it. We did it. Good. Thank you for using us. Yeah, and it's after 5 or 10 years, depending on what kind of shingle you get, it will start growing mold. So they put an additive in the shingle to keep the mold off of the limestone that's also in the shingle, but after a certain amount of time, there's nothing they can do and it just starts growing mold. In 5 years, yeah, that's about right. Yes, ma'am.
Quick question, my husband's a chimney sweep. Do you do specialized work like that as far as pressure washing chimneys? And
Yes.
when you do the roof, do you include the chimney if it's a masonry?
Yes, if it's a masonry chimney, she's asking if it's a masonry chimney, do we do the chimney with the roof? Absolutely. If we're already up there spraying the roof, we're going to spray the brick and get all the mold off the brick too.
And the second question is with your soft wash in a small house with aluminum siding, average cost?
Soft wash, small house, aluminum siding. Our house minimum is $225. If it's a ranch, anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, you call my office and want it washed, it's going to be $225. And if it's not, tell them you're real estate with Keller Williams and you heard me say it in the presentation, and then it will be. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
This house here, we say about $400 to clean the roof on the front side, clean the back side and the front side.
Front side would be about 400 for that. Front and back would be about, I'd say about 575 to 800, depending on what it's got on the back. If it's just a traditional back, it would be around 500. If it's got a back and then a detached screen or a screen porch that comes out, more angles and stuff like that, it adds to a little bit.
Does your loosen moss that happens to be on the shingle also?
It kills it.
Okay.
Any
so
moss on the shingle, it'll kill. It'll turn it white.
how long does it take for the moss?
First rainstorm. So as soon as we spray a roof, it'll turn white. It'll look like everything that was green is now dead and really sad looking. It'll rain, it goes away. And if it's something that you guys are selling and you don't have time to wait on the rain, let us know before we leave and we'll rinse it off.
Perfect, thank you so much, Mike.
No
Anybody?
problem. Any other questions? Thank y'all so much for having us. We got a lot.